morning, everybody. So our collaboration was brought together by the Annie E. Casey Foundation. They brought together the Baltimore Beat, the Baltimore Banner, WYPR, which is Baltimore's NPR station, Morgan State University, which is a HBCU in Baltimore, and Maryland Public Television. And they brought us together with the intent of producing content about young Black people in Baltimore, because a lot of times the content, the things that are written about, the things that are said about young Black people in Baltimore are not good. And so they wanted to figure out how to fund reporting. The idea that I brought to the collaborative was election season was coming, and in the 20 years I've been producing news in Baltimore, kind of the thing that everybody knows without saying is older folks show up at the polls, and that pretty much shapes the conversations around elections and what's important, the priorities. So young people have never really been involved in these conversations. This past year, that has kind of been taken to a hype because I don't know if you guys recall the Baltimore Sun was recently purchased by a conservative who has some pretty terrible things to say about Baltimore and the people that live in Baltimore, such as if you went through Baltimore City schools, you are lazy, you're expecting handouts. And so this person has used their money and influence to really put pressure on the narrative that has already existed that Baltimore young people are a problem. We wanted to take the pages of the Baltimore Beat and use them as an opportunity to really flip that narrative, give voice to young Black people, young people in Baltimore in general, and start a whole nother conversation. And that's how the Youth Voter Guide came to be. The cover, which I think we just saw a few minutes ago, was produced by a young person who was a participant of Wide Angle Youth Media. They work with kids in Baltimore through media and arts. We ran an op-ed that was written by a student at Morgan State University about her own interactions with trying to, speak out and have things to say about Baltimore and pretty much being ignored. We did a listening session, we did a virtual listening session, and we did an online poll where we asked young people to tell us what they cared about, what some of their fears were, what they would ask politicians if they had a chance to. And so we published those answers. And then we also sent out a questionnaire to electeds and asked kind of those questions, the questions that came up in the listening sessions and through research that we were able to access about things that young people in general cared about in the country. We asked politicians to answer those questions. And so we put those in the voter guide also. There was also just generally questions, articles about how to vote, which were produced by the Baltimore Banner, and we also included links to reporting from our other media partners, like WYPR, the NPR station, and some of the other things. And so it's only a beginning. One of the things that I talk about is when we had those sessions, they were about an hour, and we could have gone all day. We want to really make sure that we're not just having that touch point with young people and then being like, see you in 4 years. I'd like to figure out ways to deepen the work that we're doing and have more conversations around specific issues. I'd also like to take myself as a non-young person more out of the conversation so that they can kind of just have run of the thing that I've built. And so that's where we are. And I also have copies of the Youth Voter Guide here if anybody's interested. Thank you.